Hi, it's Sven here with Declan Scott. Declan is a new member of our team, been with us a couple of years. And Declan, I just wanted to ask you, why resilience? Firstly, but perhaps much more importantly, what has it meant to you? How's it making sense in your life?
Good questions. I'll take the first one, if I may. Why resilience? I think having come through a very interesting life and I'm very grateful for it, but I've been pushed beyond my limits many times in many countries, and I guess in some ways it's an inherent.
Are you going to tell people how you were an Irish smuggler?
Yeah, well, I started on a farm, and smuggling eggs across the border. Not very, adventurous eggs. People are expecting something a bit more interesting on the border with Northern Ireland. But there was always Brendan Behan, an Irish playwright, wrote once. The Irish are wonderful at, they don't respect anything and anybody. So that we always question authority. We always push the limits. We always try and get away with things. And so having that desire to push the limits brought me to many countries and many roles. And so when I came to resilience, and the first time I heard the word, it was in a professional context, working in a firm, and I thought, what does this mean? And it was somebody said it's how you put up with shit, how you actually get over it and deal with stuff. I thought, okay, working in a professional environment, we had to do that, whether it be clients or partners. And so resilience then became something that you had to endure. And as I went through life and had my own company and business in Christchurch, then I suddenly realized how important resilience was in an everyday sense in business. And I often say this in our workshops, that I really didn't enjoy being in Christchurch and in my business until the earthquakes. And people are a little bit shocked by that, but it gave me an opportunity to express through our business much more value in the community. And it also showed me that the challenges that I had gone through, be it personal or in business, had taught me something, had actually given me a skill set that suddenly I was able to use to the benefit of the community. And it was glaringly obvious that people were coming to find out how they could help, find out how they could get on board and make a difference in the community and in business.
It's an interesting thought here. The way you're talking makes me think this is something you continue to learn. Whereas many people may think, well, just, Irish egg smuggler must be genetically resilient.
Oh God.
Is that your experience?
Well, actually, it's definitely learnable. And I think, and you may jest about being an Irish egg smuggler, but you're right.
I love eggs, by the way.
Yeah, and what would we do without them? But the area that I'm from in Ireland has been described as one of the most resilient areas of Ireland, because when people say, where are you from, and I'll say,
well, to eat potatoes for several hundred years and still be alive, you've got to be resilient.
We eat eggs instead, but it's they'll go, Monaghan. I go, no, I've never heard of it. And that's because nobody's ever heard of it, because it's not your tourist place, and it's not, so it's had to be resilient. And I think
so it's really had a deep resonance with your life experience.
Right through my life, and keeping it real is, real resilience is it talks to me. And so when I came across it, then it sort of all fitted together like a glove, and it was like, this makes sense from a scientific perspective, and it matches my experience, so therefore it's a natural fit.
So good sell, all right, but what has it meant for you? You've had a couple of years to learn it, to practice it, to start teaching it, to embed it in your own life. I'd love to hear what your experience has been. What really works, what's real, what's been maybe difficult but rewarding, what's been easy but maybe not so rewarding.
I would say having the knowledge now can be difficult to handle when you know that you want to have that next glass of wine. So it's and knowing how I'm going to feel tomorrow and having the
ignorance is bliss.
So you never go back in that way. You sort of you do it consciously, and I would say my wife has had issues with it, particularly when I get up at 5:30 now most mornings, and she is.
All right, I thought you meant with a glass of wine.
No, she blames you, Sven, and so that routine that I've built up over the last couple of years has saved me. And even if I'm I do waking up at that time, and I never believed I could. I was never an early morning exerciser.
Right.
So, I think it's a couple of years now that I've been in yoga most mornings. That is something that I am grateful for so much in my life every day now that I wouldn't have experienced, because I had to build my life around putting.
So it's really
those
practical.
things.
It's not sort of
It's
like strange attitudes and beliefs.
It's down to earth, real, and it's affected my relationship, my business, my life, and so that's why it's not a hard sell for me. It's not hard to carry. It's actually integrated with who I am. So I know that I thrive on challenge. I know that I thrive in sort of pushing the boundaries, and there's that saying, if you can imagine it, you can achieve it. And I took up my guitar again this year because I thought I'm going to be a great guitarist, and I've spent 30 years thinking about it.
So that's really creative, isn't it, as well as...
Yeah, and it's nourishing. So it doesn't have to be like business or here or there. It's actually in enjoying and starting to uncover the layers of myself that I've been sort of...
So Declan, in this world of instant courses, weekends, become a master of anything, and an expectation that many of our clients can learn resilience in an hour or a half day. Tell us about the journey for you going forward.
Well, I attended a conference recently on this topic run by Google, and if there's going to be a quick way of doing it, they'll find it. Be certain of that. And apparently now you can downsize what used to take a monk 34,000 hours to achieve. Now you can just have it in 4 weeks, and with Google. And so I really enjoyed this conference because it looked at integrating what we're teaching into everyday life, and into the little practices, into the little moments of each day. And then you can have deliberate practice, but there was an integration as well. So, and there was a tremendous appetite for it. People were loving it. And I realized that although the last 10, 15 years of my life has been on a journey of discovery, not everyone has, and I think there is going to be a lot more of the population waking up to this and realizing that actually this works. Just like yoga 10 years ago was strange.
Absolutely.
The next thing will be, if you're not meditating, if you're not using mindfulness or another form of presencing, then you're missing your life. And so I think it will keep growing. I think we're only scratching the surface. We're only starting, and it'll be very much more into exploring how to use emotional intelligence and regulation, as well as the term mindfulness or training the mind that we describe. I think it's all essential key skills that we need to be teaching from our kids up to everybody.
Yeah. So in your journey from that resilient Irishman, rich life, how far down the journey of becoming resilient do you believe you are?
Oh, look, we can always be, knocked over, bowled over at any moment. Things do impact us and flatten us, and I think having that life experience, I'm open to that. It's not that I'm infallible and that it won't happen again, but knowing that I've got the tools to get up again. I know I can get up, having the ability to know that I can trust that in myself, and that's something that you carry. And so I don't think that I'm ever complete. I don't think none of us are complete, or we wouldn't be on this plane. So I think it's always something that we continue working on. And the Buddhists put it beautifully, actually. They talk about, when some monks were asked, did they ever get angry? And of course, everybody feels emotions. That doesn't go away. But it's been described like writing on water. And so it's not that things don't arise from them, but it is simply like writing on water. It disappears as it arises. And that gap, I think, can close, and we can become better at it and more in tune with where we're at, not to react, and to be able to hold that. The term I describe and love is equanimity. That's probably the one thing that I aspire to, equanimity, that I can just face life in what is being termed a volatile and uncertain time, but have an equanimity in that allows us to just face life.
So what starts with vegetables and waking up early and running around in a nutcase sounds like it becomes quite spiritual.
It's a complete integrated journey from ground level right up through body, mind, heart, spirit. Has to all work together.
Beautiful. Thank you, Declan.
Pleasure. Thank you.